Gracefully and Frankly is made possible by Sierra Sil. Start feeling better in 14 days or fewer. Sierra Sil Joint Formula 14, pure mineral powder of essential minerals, calcium, iron, silicon, potassium, all the things. Check it out online.
SierraSil.com, Sierra like the mountains, Sil like silicon. And anything you purchase, you can get 10% off with the code GF.
Fasten your seatbelts. Well, wait a sec. We actually should fasten our seatbelts. We're back in the minivan doing our show. Erin and Lisa, and we're ready to go.
Oh my goodness. And we have a new jingle that only Erin will sing.
Never
because
again,
we
I
want
promise.
you to stay with this
Exactly.
thing. Anyway.
Never again. Hey, did you notice nobody mentioned in the Facebook Live our new theme? It really doesn't matter.
No,
Okay.
that's all right.
Fine.
That means it's good. I mean, you only hear when it's not good. So it means it's good. You did a great job.
Good point. You too. What have we got ahead for today? Well, we've got 3 questions that didn't get answered in our live event, so we're going to delve into that.
Yeah, and they are good ones too. We're also going to talk about giving away the pie. And
And not dirty, I promise it's not dirty.
the breakfast bars and the Pop-Tarts as well.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
Erin can't stand wasted food, and neither can I, but she's really adamant about it.
Yeah, wait till she got home and opened up her suitcase and found all of those cheese sticks. No, she didn't. We didn't send any produce. But Lisa, why don't you have air tags?
That's right.
And other questions that drive her out of her mind?
If they were questions, I love them, but when they're statements, I hear I'm an idiot.
And getting over your fears to hit new heights. She did it, literally. All ahead. Here we go. Well, here we are again together for the last time, as by now, hopefully, you are safe at home with Cuddles in Port Stanley.
Yeah, I hope so. He's been cuddling up to Derek, and I've been enjoying my time here with you, of course, so much. The pool and the lovely weather. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry.
Oh, yeah, I should have mentioned home cuddling with Derek, too, of course. Always good to come home to Derek.
Absolutely.
And we are still, although we were literally floating, we are figuratively floating after last week's 3,000 views of our Facebook Live. And we're just so grateful to you. And and we got to talk about our pillow winners. This was, and Lisa said this, I swear to you more than once, this is better than radio. And you're going to have to explain that to me, because I thought nothing was better than radio until this.
Right. I just felt that we have such a great connection with people who listen to the podcast. And the story that we got from our first winner, she told us about her life and how her husband had a stroke. That's Liz.
Yeah.
And the pillow was just going to be a really good thing for her. And she was really excited to get it. And then Karen as well, our other winner, got in touch, and she's really excited too. And I think it's just that personal connection and the fact that these things didn't come from a conglomerate on high who told us to give them away.
Right. It was Kathy and Kim. And this is a perfect time to mention Envy Pillow, because they are just a 2-woman company. And there are other people all involved in it, obviously. But when we send the winners' names, they get in touch with the winners. It's just the most amazing thing. And we know from 2 women conglomerates, we're just a little machine with big hearts. And the thing about Karen's daughter is she has TMJ, which is a jaw disorder, and I've had it too, where you open it too widely or you kiss and your jaw clicks. It's the thing in my family.
Yeah.
It does. And she said it's going to help her daughter. So we're so happy that Kathy and Kim have gotten involved in this. And the best thing is, you can check everything out as well to see what the Envy Pillow is all about. And it's Envy, E-N-V-Y. We want to make sure you know that.
Yeah, envypillow.com, and anything you choose to purchase there, you can get 10% off right away by using the code GF, and check them out. In fact, we had somebody ask us which pillow they should get, and there's a pillow quiz right on the Envy Pillow.
So in addition to the emails we got from people who enjoyed the Facebook Live, one of them said, I can finally tell who's who from having seen you. So thanks for that, Norma. And you got some questions that we didn't get to in the Facebook Live. So here we go with just a few more things you just need to know about Gracefully and Frankly and Lisa and me.
Well, thank you to Diane for this one. She said, a long time ago, I watched an Oprah show about toxic friends. That was my cue to talk to a longtime friend and tell her that her husband's attitude and actions were not appropriate and we would not be seeing them again socially. I've listened to your podcast from the beginning and haven't heard toxic friends discussed yet. Is this something you'd be discussing in the future?
Ooh, that's a good one. And I came across a quote. Take a look at how the people in your life react to things that you've done. Like, who reaches out and says, hey, great job, or congratulations, subjects you to silence, and who criticizes you. And when you look at those reactions, I think that that could be a measure of toxicity.
Absolutely. Your real friends are happy for you and cheering you on and want the best for you. And it's not a competition. It's never a competition. There can be healthy competitiveness, but I don't feel, and what a futile thing it would be if I felt competitive with you, because
oh my
it's
God.
like you're Erin effing Davis. So,
and you're Lisa effing Brandt, and I should have said that in the Facebook Live too. Here's an example of how we don't compete with each other. I got a very rare audition opportunity because I don't have an agent. I'm not signed up with any of the Voices things anymore. And I said to Lisa, oh yeah, this guy reached out and he thought I'd be a perfect fit. And it was for, might as well say, Band-Aid. And you said, oh, I did that audition too. And a little bit of me thought, why am I not going, dang? Because my whole voice inside and out was, great, I hope you get it.
Yeah. And well, I hope you get it too.
Sure.
And I do. And some of these things, it takes them weeks to decide.
Yeah.
And you just have to let it go. I mean, I'm often saying to younger voice artists, auditioning is the job.
Right.
Anyway, I'm getting off track. But,
Yeah.
It's true that we don't compete with each other and we do cheerlead with each other. And you need those people around who are supportive of whatever it is you want to do. Also, that can talk you off a ledge and can be honest with you. We had a moment we were talking about approaching something professionally. We both do it in completely different ways.
Yeah.
And yet I fully was not trying to stop you, so you have to do it my way. We do it different ways, and that's just fine. I think that's the definition of a non-toxic friend.
Friendships can grow or deteriorate too. And you find this if you look back at people you had crushes on in high school. And at that moment, they were the person of your dreams, right? And then you look back and go, oh, what was I thinking? And so friendships change, dynamics change, and our maturity level where you can look at something and go, well, that might have worked in my 20s, but now or my 30s or my 40s, but I don't have time for all of your drama now. Now, when you've got drama, Lisa, you'll say, do you have time to talk? Or there's something going on, and I'll reach out and say, okay, what's going on? But it's not like you pick up the phone and for an hour tell me everything wrong in your life and then say, okay, gotta go. There's got to be this mutual space for your drama, my drama, and if there's nothing going on in my life or vice versa, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying don't reach out to me when you're having a bad time, but
you feel dumped on.
Right.
When somebody is calling and just going, bleh, and then they don't ask how you are. That's how it feels to me when I know that I'm just being dumped on and what my life is about is not important to the person.
Right.
So, and I'm not a receptacle for that kind of stuff. I just won't allow it.
You used to be, I bet.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. And, quitting drinking. There's another one where friends who weren't supportive about it and just were like, well, what do you think? You're better than me or whatever. And I did it fairly young, so it was a different experience. But those people had to go. And the older we get, I think, the more... Like this woman, Diane, saying that she told her friend that her husband was a problem. I think the more we're apt to just not have... We're fresh out of F's when it comes to putting up with that, don't you think?
Yeah.
But I agree that it's something we learn. It's not something we come out of the womb knowing how to do. So you have to get rid of a few toxic friends before you understand what they are and how to do it.
And I can miss you without missing all of the drama about you. And there are some friends...
Are you talking about me?
No.
Okay,
but
just
I
making
do
sure.
miss you. I do miss you, even though we're sitting here in the minivan now, and I know you're at home now as folks are listening to this. So yeah, Friendships change, and some people stay rooted in who they were at the age of 20, and you're not that person anymore. And I don't think it's wrong to recognize that you're not that person anymore.
Yeah.
You've learned, you've become wiser, hopefully. You've had a whole bunch of kicks in the pants that have hopefully taught you. And so that's what we use to move on and grow on as we get older.
I used to walk into a room, there's a certain relative, let's say, used to walk into a room and they'd be mean to me. And my thought used to be, what's wrong with me that they treat me that way?
Right.
And now my thought would be, except they're cut out of my life, what the hell's wrong with them?
Right.
Or I don't even care. Just,
Right.
I don't want to be around it, right?
Right.
And I think that's where we get to.
Yeah, running out of F's is a good thing as you get older because, the finish line is a little bit closer. Why waste your time with toxic friends, toxic relatives, any toxicity in your life? And there will be people who just don't understand it and will be angry with you for cutting them out of your life or ghosting them or however you decide is healthiest for you to take care of it. What's our next question, audience? Running around with my microphone and yours?
Next question comes from Eileen. What do you think will happen to radio? I only listen now to local radio. We both have, of course, deep histories with radio. You spoke recently on the Sound Off podcast with Matt Condell about it. What do you think, Erin?
Oh, Lisa, you've heard my opinions on this. And we both feel very deeply about it, that local radio is the only radio that matters. Of course, we're not talking about Blue Jays broadcasts or anything like that. But, as long as radio continues to just water itself down, to syndicate shows all across the country, just like the American model has done, they will continue to render themselves irrelevant. Because radio is what's happening in your life. You need to know, what's going on in your backyard. Why do things matter to you and your taxes and your garbage pickup? That kind of stuff.
And the consistency, too, I think, of having the same person. I mean, that's how radio listeners fall in love with radio hosts and depend on them every day. If you have people, it's a revolving door, and you're just trying to get the cheapest person on the air all the time, that's just never going to build. It's funny, I was just thinking about a boss I had one time who lost his marbles when I talked about a television show one time on the air. Because it's like, no, you shouldn't talk about TV because we're radio. And it's like, are you out of your mind? Do you think people don't watch television? They just sit and wait for our shows to come on. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then a few years later, it was like, oh, we have to cover everything. And sometimes it just feels like captains who don't know what they're doing are running the ship, right?
Yeah, who've risen to their own level of incompetence, the Peter Principle. But the good thing is we don't have to care anymore. We always will because it's in our DNA. It gave us our lives. It gave us our husbands. In our case, it gave us our daughter because that's where I met my husband, was at a radio station. And it gave us all good things. And we will always be grateful to radio, which is what makes it sad in so many ways as to what it's become. Now, I do want to say as one little PS to this, to those who believe in radio and are working their tails off to make it as good as it can be, bless you. Don't give up. Keep believing and keep doing the good work because it's not dead yet. There could be a turnaround. It's been over a century for radio, but it just does seem like it's kind of killing itself. And I'm sorry to be so negative, but that's how we feel.
Right. We love the medium, just maybe not how it's being run.
Yes, and we're glad to be out of it.
Another question from Mary. Very glad to see us both on the Facebook Live. Lisa, has anyone ever told you that you sound like Kathy Bates? When I listen to Gracefully and Frankly, I always think you sound like her, especially when you laugh.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I don't have Kathy Bates laughing, but let's listen to her a little bit. This is from a Vanity Fair piece where she was talking about her career.
I play a role. It's always play. And it's that little kid inside of you, only now you have the best costume designers and the best makeup and the best scripts. And it's all like at a huge heightened reality.
What do you think, Lisa?
I think sometimes when I'm being deliberate and speaking a little more slowly, I can hear it. I can see that. People have told me that I sound like Katie Sagal.
Katie Sagal, oh, from Married with Children.
Yeah, and so many other shows along the way. I don't know. I get that. She's got a little throaty bit in her voice.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's all good. I mean, if Kathy Bates, an Oscar winner, I mean, I'd be happy to be confused with her.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So those are the questions we're going to focus on this week. So thank you for those. And you can always write us more questions. We have email gracefullyfrankly@gmail.com or go to our Gracefully Frankly Facebook page. You know where it is now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we read every single comment. Both of us do. We don't have people doing that for us.
No.
It's us. So we really appreciate your time.
The fun thing about giving away those 2 gift certificates for pillows last week was that we could actually give them away. I have been trying to give away food while you're here, Lisa. And
Yes.
it's a funny story because when Rob and the kids went home, they left me with all kinds of stuff I'm not going to eat. Hot dog buns, hamburger buns, apples, oranges,
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts, a frozen apple pie. So you don't want to waste food. The thing worse than anything in my life is people wasting food. So the other day, the guy who does the manicuring the lawns and stuff around here, he came to the door to tell us the side gate was locked. 8 a.m, Lisa. Why?
I know, you rang the doorbell, and I've never moved so fast in my life.
Yeah. So we let him in through the garage. And then afterward, I come out with this handful of stuff. I've got 2 Pop-Tarts. I've got some breakfast bars. I've got some candy canes. I think I gave him the Fruit Loop candy canes. And I know that English wasn't his first language, and my Spanish is not that good. So I just kind of said, yeah, my grandkids were here. I won't be eating this stuff. Please take it. So he kind of looked at it and went, yeah, okay. I said, just to eat in your truck. Go on. The next part of this story is the frozen apple pie.
Yeah, we went to meet with my friend, now your friend as well, Wanda, for, wonderful brunch on this beautiful golf course.
Yeah, the Asena golf course, if anybody is in the Palm Springs area, you can pay green fees and golf. It's a public course. It's absolutely spectacular. And anyway, we just went there for lunch.
Yeah, the restaurant's public too, of course. So we put the pie in the vehicle to take to Wanda, and we nearly forgot it.
Yeah.
After lunch, we went to give her the pie, and all of a sudden I hear Erin go, the pie!
Well, here's the backstory. When we first got here, we got groceries, not you and I, but the family, and there was this stupid sale on at Walmart for a Marie Callender baked apple pie, $1.97. Tell me who's not going to buy a pie for $1.97? But we never got to it. So there it was in the freezer, and so we put it in a freezer bag, put it in the van. It's like we were luring men into the van with pie. We could have done it.
It's not windowless, though.
No. And so, yeah, she said, sure. And so she was taking it home to her husband, Denny. So that was nice. Oh,
You know, the vision of you running with that collection of Pop-Tarts and bars and everything, running out to the gardener, and the look on his face like, what is this woman doing?
I know.
You were so happy to give it away.
I know. We should have given it to the guy who brought you your luggage the other night. And we told that story last Thursday in episode 56. But Lisa finally got her luggage. And this poor guy, at the end of his day, he probably would have enjoyed a Pop-Tart in his van, with all that luggage. But we did tip him. And I don't know how often luggage deliverers get tips, because I think for the most part, people who get their luggage are
Pissed off.
a combination of angry and grateful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and the poor guy looked exhausted, so I think he just appreciated a couple of friendly faces.
yeah. And while we're getting back to the bags, oh, Lisa has kind of a spicy vocabulary, my friend. I don't know if you know that about her, but she used it a few times when people were asking her or telling her, Lisa, you should get air tags.
Yeah.
So first, let's explain what an air tag is if there's anybody who doesn't know what.
You have them.
Yes.
So because you're Apple, I'm not.
Right.
So they are, tied to an app on your phone? They're these little things you put on or in the suitcase?
In the suitcase.
Okay.
You can put them in a backpack. You could put them in a glove compartment if you wanted to be real sketch about it. But they will tell you from thousands of kilometers away where your bag or your precious cargo is. And you can't do that because Lisa hates Apple.
Well, I fell out of love with Apple. They did me wrong. So I have Android, and there are Android versions.
Yeah.
But the ones I've seen are not as robust as Apple because Apple is, they're ahead of the game. All right. So here's the issue with people saying get AirTags. I know they're trying to be helpful, but they don't say, have you looked into AirTags?
Yep.
Have you heard of AirTags? Have you ever considered AirTags? It's always a man.
Oh.
It's always a guy. And I know they're trying to be helpful, but it's always, you should get AirTags, and then a link or a whole explanation of what AirTags are. Sometimes I think it's just that we think differently sometimes, I guess. But sometimes I think they think I live in a hermetically sealed mayonnaise jar, and only what I put on Facebook is all I know. You know what I mean? There isn't thought for other things. If it was just phrased as a question, even if I saw it 50 times, it would be a different story. It would give me some credit for having a brain. And I was just, I hadn't had my luggage for 3 days. On and on. Then I went and spent money on all these clothes and everything. Then my bag came, and it was a little bit frustrating. I wasn't in my best self when I was swearing like a longshoreman.
No, but I did hear that Kathy Bates. I think it was Misery. That's when I heard the comparison. Yeah, there's a lot of that goes on. And when I talked about the water pipes bursting at our house, a very helpful lady sent a link to a YouTube about how to fix a pipe. And I went, yeah, Rob knows this. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And he could have looked that up, and he would. The first thing he would do would be to look it up. Except that the pipes were 18 feet from the ground up under the house on stilts. So it's not going to be an easy fix where you just kind of shimmy in there with your blowtorch and fix it. But...
Right. And I guess it's people want to be helpful.
Yes.
And that's number one. And I get that and I appreciate it. But it's just the assumptions that when you're in the midst of a crisis, that's just not helpful.
Right.
So, and I know they're trying to be helpful, but anyway.
Maybe put it in the form of a question. Instead of you should, what we hear is you're an idiot.
Yeah.
How about have you considered what we hear is I'm being helpful?
Right. You're right. I do hear you're an idiot. I'm an idiot.
I hear you're an idiot.
Who's telling you that?
And you are not an idiot. And I know that. And you know that because we're smart enough to be partnered up.
Right.
So there.
There you go.
Yeah. You did something during our trip here. I'm so glad you did. We got to tell the story of the Palm Springs Tramway. First off, it is the world's largest of its kind. It's like a giant sort of not a sardine can, although you felt that, like a tuna can. And it slowly rotates as it rises over several towers to the top of a 10,000-foot mountain in California.
And it only takes about 10 minutes. It's 2.5 miles, that ride, and you are way up, really high up. And I didn't understand when it said it rotated. I thought, how does this thing rotate? But it's the inside that rotates. The outside stays static, right?
Yeah.
It's like on you're sort of on a turntable that rotates.
It's like the CN Tower restaurant.
Yes.
The tower is not turning.
Right. That's what I thought. I thought they kept saying it rotates. I thought, how are they going to do that and keep us safe on these cables? But it's way high up, and there were more people in it than I thought there were going to be. But everybody seemed to get a really good view because of that 360 rotation.
Right.
But there was a time when I would have just said no and walked away because of the heights.
Right.
And the height, it's really high up.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, as you were stepping on, and we were among the last to get on this, and there were probably 50 people on it, and it has a capacity for 70, but I don't want to know what 70 in there feels like. And you were almost rocking back and forth like, oh no, oh no, 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 no.
Yeah.
And you were turning a little bit, and I thought it was claustrophobia, or I thought it was your claustrophobia, and no one was wearing masks, and neither were we. We hadn't brought any. So I was really afraid all the way up of, Lisa losing it.
No, I was, as soon as we got going and I got the hang of how it was going to move and that there was room between people, I loved it.
Oh.
Loved every moment of it. Loved it on the way down. The heights no longer bother me. I got over that. And it really wasn't as crowded. There was a sweet little girl. Her father was holding her kind of close to me on the way down. And I just really enjoyed it. I didn't think it looked like it was going to be really crammed, but I didn't feel it was.
Good.
Did you?
No.
No, not at all.
No, I didn't. And the music was good, and there were windows open, and we were having a really good time. And then at the top, you can sit at a restaurant, or there's a bar there, and people were getting food and stuff, and you and I just had a nice coffee and a really good chat. God, we've been having really good chats.
We have.
Oh, my goodness.
In the pool. The pool seems to bring out good chats.
Because the water's warm. It's almost the safeness of amniotic fluid.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a womb.
Ooh, it is.
A womb with a view.
It is that.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and we were unfaithful to our husbands. It had nothing to do with the pie.
Oh, yeah.
Or the guys in the jumpsuits at the airport when we were driving by extremely slowly. I mean, I don't know what happened to my gas pedal. But
I don't know either, but I kept saying, slow down.
No.
It's like a scene from Top Gun. They're on the tarmac. Anyway.
Yes. And we were, the cougars with the pie instead of the catcher in the rye. But we watched a show that we both know that our spouses would really like, and we watched it anyway. That's now our definition of being unfaithful.
I thought you were going to talk about the barbecue restaurant. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we did that too. We did that too. I wasn't going to mention that, but now that you do. No, we did. We did Barbecue Without the Boys. But we also watched this amazing show on Apple TV. Sorry if you don't get it. If you do not miss Lessons in Chemistry with Brie Larson, Oscar winner. And it's just a great, great show about a 1950s scientist who gets just passed over, stepped over, even abused for being this beautiful woman who's absolutely brilliant. And then we won't tell you how, but she gets a cooking show, and it's just so good.
It really is good. She's single-minded about not being repressed and not having her dreams crushed. And things happen to her that she didn't want to happen, but she goes with it. She's amazing. The show's great.
Yeah, and not talking down to women. And if there's one message that we've gotten from you through all of this, through this Facebook Live that we did, and sorry to keep talking about it, it just so exceeded all of our hopes and any kind of ambitions, and it was all Lisa's doing, so thanks for that.
Oh, we'll do it again.
Yes, we will, and that was a question, but thank you. The comments that we're all just connecting. And we talked with someone the other night named Erin. You may have seen her pop into our comments during the podcast, and she said she wanted to help us out. And then we had to talk with her, and she just affirmed to us and confirmed that we are so on the right path in not going down roads of politics or, telling people you have to eat this or you should do this or anything. It's just sharing our common experiences.
Yeah. And not doing interviews. That was the other thing. Yeah.
That was a surprise. And when somebody said, are you going to do interviews? What I heard was, there's the voice inside, oh, it'd be a better show with interviews. But then what we realized is you can hear a celebrity or a health guru anywhere. You can see them on TV anywhere. You can follow them on their websites. You don't need them with us. What we just want to do is be with you, be with each other, be with you, have a coffee or a tea or whatever, that long ride to and from Montreal. We just feel so grateful to you, and that's why we keep going on. So after today, after episode 57, no more talk of the Facebook Live.
Okay, except that you'll be able to... Oh, I'll tell you about that another time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up for this week, a big, big thank you to you. Thank you, Lisa, for coming all the way out here.
Oh, it was just such a hardship.
Oh, well, it was. From switching from WestJet to Air Canada and then everything and getting home. And we are so grateful to have you here that I'm spending the next, I come home 2 weeks today to British Columbia. So I'm just going to spend it writing. I've hooked up with Lisa's therapist. So I've already had one session so far. So we'll see how that all goes. And just working on me a little bit.
That's wonderful, and I applaud you for it. I hope you stick with that and don't fill up the days with, YouTube David Beckham flex videos or something.
Ooh, okay, just a second.
If you do, forward them.
I'm writing that down. Thank you very much. All right, you have a great week. Thanks to our sponsors, Sierra Sil
and NV Pillow.
Talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.